Trudeau did not address reporting by Global News that sources say a clandestine election interference network was covertly funded by Chinese state entities in the 2019 federal election, and that the Prime Minister was briefed in 2022 by Canadian intelligence officials on these stunning allegations of political interference schemes. Canada's chief electoral officer says he's not aware of Beijing interfering beyond Global News reports.
I've not received any reports regarding specific instances of non-compliance with the legislation or specific instances of Chinese interference in the election.
Was the Prime Minister briefed, yes or no?
The opposition says the government is not being transparent about just what the Prime Minister was briefed on. The government is avoiding specifics.
We're taking action to combat attempted foreign interference, Mr. Speaker, beginning with our national security agencies, who conduct investigations.
Separate sources with knowledge of the 2022 intelligence briefs told Global News funds from the Chinese consulate in Toronto, allegedly facilitated by a Toronto businessman, Wei Chung-yi, totaling some $250,000, was transferred first to an unnamed Ontario MPP and a federal candidate staff member. Wei Chung-yi denies the allegations. From there, sources say the money was distributed to members of a clandestine network. Intelligence says the network was comprised of at least 11 federal candidates, along with 13 campaign staffers. According to the intelligence, some are wittingly affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party, some are not. Sources say the network includes Liberals and Conservatives. Justice Minister David Lametti suggested the need for caution in revealing too much publicly.
Obviously, there's a need for transparency, but there's also a need for our security services to protect their sources, to protect the methods in which they gather intelligence. All of that is important, and so we need to act prudently.
A former CSIS officer worries that intelligence officials haven't adequately briefed the Prime Minister.
Prudence is not necessarily a bad advice for the general public, but definitely if you speak to the Prime Minister, you need to be forthcoming.
Juno Katsuya says one thing Canada must do is to toughen Canadian laws to crack down on money transfers that could constitute interference in Canadian elections. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.